Hi, Mark here from AmericanAeration.com. In today's video, I want to talk about my preferences. If somebody were to ask me between a standard electrical aerator, solar-powered options, or windmills, what would I choose? And what would be the criteria for making that type of choice? I want to cover that in today's video. So when we look at pond aerators in general, there are different types, and the main difference that I want to note today is how they're powered. We have the standard electrical AC powered pond aerators, the standard of the industry. You put those in plug those into a 115 volt or a 230 volt circuit, and you can power the system round the clock, and they do a good job. You also have solar powered options. There are two different solar powered options: direct drive, which will work during the daylight only, and then battery supported solar, which can run 20 to 24 hours daily, depending on the weather conditions and how much sun exposure you're getting. And then finally, you also have windmills, which of course are driven by wind. And these alternative energy aerators are gaining in popularity. They're a great option, especially for those that don't have any power access whatsoever. They provide a way to aerate a pond that typically, other than windmills, you used to not really have many options there. And so I want to discuss the criteria that I kind of use in making a selection for somebody as to what to go with. Ultimately, I have one goal. My main goal is to have a system that will run as long as I possibly can, or as consistently as I possibly can. That's my number one goal. I want to run 24/7 if I can do it. Now, reality says that budgets and locations and circumstances will ultimately dictate what someone goes with. But if I have a choice, my priority is runtime. And so my number one choice in an aeration system is an electrical powered unit. I want to be able to plug it in and run it 24/7. I want the most affordable system that I can get, and certainly solar will add or increase costs to these systems. And so a plug and play system is kind of my preference. These systems can be set up even if you don't have power right by a pond. Anything where I have power 1,000 feet away from the pond or shorter, I can run a burial air line, assuming the geography will allow that, the terrain will allow that, but I can run a buried air line to deliver that air to the pond. And so the advantage again is the cost and acquisition of the system is typically as affordable as you can make it, and then the capability to run 24/7 uninterrupted is definitely ideal. The next best in this hierarchy is a solar powered system with a battery backup. These can run 20 to 24 hours a day depending on conditions and how much sun exposure they get. And again, the advantage is runtime. I can get out there almost as good as an electrically powered system day in and day out, and that's very advantageous, especially being able to run at night. When you have certain conditions, fish benefit a lot from aeration at night, and I think that's definitely worth the consideration for a backed up solar powered system. The next step down from that would be the direct drive solar, and those will run from dawn till dusk usually, day in and day out, but they won't run at night. And then we have windmills, and of course that's greatly dependent on wind. Now these last two aerators could flip-flop in their position depending on your particular circumstances. If you're in an area, maybe a higher elevation, open, good wind currents, you get consistent breezes almost every day, that may lean me more to suggesting a windmill aerator over a solar. But for most folks, my experience is most folks have benefited from a direct drive solar because they aerate every single day, and in the summer months it's most hours of the day. So compared to windmill, yeah, that will usually pay off better for most people, but not everyone. And I have had folks, quite frankly, who have used both of those types of systems to kind of cover the other one if things aren't quite going right. You kind of hedge your bets and again, minimize any downtime on the aeration. So ultimately, this is going to come down to yes, if I can do it, runtime is my priority. But understand this, that not everybody will have power access. And so if you have no power access, then you have to start looking at these alternative energy options. Then it comes down to what you're going to get the most runtime out of, and I think as importantly, what will fit into your budget. Because the battery supported solar systems are definitely the most expensive of these three options. They are thousands of dollars more than the direct drive systems, and then the direct drive systems are a bit more than the windmills. So the windmills provide you the most affordable option in these alternative energy options, but again, they may not fit your needs the best. So it really comes down to all those factors, also what your goals are. I do think in every case, really, if I'm looking at protecting fish, I do like to be able to run at night in some fashion if I have to. And then for water quality, algae management, I do think that is the most you can run, the better off you're going to be. That's just what I've seen over time. You want to aerate as consistently as possible for getting the most out of an aeration system. So in the end, you have to decide what will work best for your particular needs, your situation, your budget. There is an answer in there for everybody, I think. And although, again, maybe it won't be ideal, maybe you can't get a full-time system going, but you can certainly consider the next best thing. And I do think any aeration is better than nothing. It's just, if I have a choice, and this was a question that came in, if I have a choice, I want to run as much as I possibly can. So I hope that information helps. If you have other questions about pond aeration, reach out to me at americanaeration.com. I'm happy to help, and I hope you have a great day wherever you are.